And this is Tech Talk Radio. I'm Andy Taylor.
And I'm Windows 8.
Now, I would totally laugh if you were the new voice of Windows 8.
Wouldn't it be great? All the residuals? Oh, man.
That was great. All right, awesome. Actually, Slick is here with us, but Slick, through the magic of screen capture, is actually presenting Windows 8 on the desktop, so we can get a look at it. Slick, I have to ask you, did you watch Chris Pirillo's video this week?
No, I didn't. What's going on?
Well, Chris Pirillo had his, I believe it was his dad, sitting in his, control room where he does his broadcast. For those who don't know, Chris does what do you call it? You call it a live cast?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and he broadcasts everything, pretty much everything, and he provides little informational videos that are a lot of fun. Well, one of the videos that went viral this week on YouTube, or one that was trending well, was his dad trying to figure out Windows 8, and it was actually pretty funny. But through the through our video cast at techtalkradio.com/live, you can come on in and take a look and actually watch this. Now, if you're listening to us on WLMN or our podcast, you may be missing out on this, but you can watch the video cast right up there on the website. So you can log in and actually see what Slick was talking about in our videocast portion, which is right up there on the web. But in the meantime, for those of you listening, we'll kind of get a rundown and a little better explanation of what Windows 8 is going to be all about. Now, first thing I have to ask, Slick, were you a little hesitant about going to Windows 8?
Yeah, let me explain. Let me explain how I got here, because I usually have no intention on playing with it. I mean, I like to play with this stuff, but then I don't have a computer for it. I don't have the time. So I've got this, as we all should know, those of you who watch this program and have been with this program for many, many years should know. I acquired for free an Alienware Area 51 M9750 because somebody sent me an email that said, "Congratulations, you have won." And I made sure that I won.
Now, and this laptop lately, though, has been giving you a bit of problem.
Yes, it has. I believe that the hardware, the video on the motherboard somehow is taking a nosedive. I could not get out of VGA mode with Ubuntu, as well as with Windows Vista, and but the computer is still usable. It's just everything is just large.
Right.
So I had considered the only thing I just recently considered was trying to find like some free command-based operating system without any pictures, graphics, or anything like without a graphical user interface that I could just switch to and use that. And if I took my time, I know Linux has it. I just haven't taken the time to figure it out. So then we get the Windows 8 consumer preview, and I'm like, yeah, one day. Well, that day was this morning, believe it or not. Because
wait, hold on. You did this all like this morning?
Yes. And that's why
Wow.
I wanted to kind of make it a nice surprise for Andy.
Yeah.
If things just didn't work out because of the cameras, we couldn't get the cameras to hook up, and so that's why you can't see me. That's why you're looking at Andy. Besides, I haven't shaved and changed, take a shower.
Now, one thing I noticed, though, your microphone right now it sounds like it's coming off your camera. And I know we were playing around with the cameras and stuff. Is there any way to switch that so that it sounds more like it's coming off your headset?
Yeah, let's go to, let's see, I'm on sharing. I got to be careful.
Now we're actually watching Slick as he works through Windows 8. There we go. Goes into his audio.
Did you see Andy? Look at him.
There we go.
Okay. Let's go to tools. We'll go to options. For those of you who don't know how to do this on Skype.
All right.
Go to, there's video settings. Never mind. That would be showing me. Hi. Bye.
Let's see if he brings this back again.
Let's see. Okay. So here's audio device.
There you go.
Better?
Much better.
Okay, then let's do audio device 2 and click save, and then we will get away from Andy. And then I'll close that, and that's Chrome, so we'll minimize that. You're gonna be seeing these anyway at some point. I'm just minimizing it. Okay, so let me go back to the big. Interesting. I feel kind of stuck now. Because right now you're looking at the standard user interface that you would see on a Windows Vista, Windows 7 desktop, right?
Right. Now this is if you went into the desktop and you actually said, show my, because I've seen on the Perillo broadcast, I actually saw his dad looking at just like one icon that was the fish, and he had to figure out how to work his way around.
Yeah, that's this stupid fish. So I'm gonna try.
That is really ugly. I know that some designer worked on that. In my personal opinion, sorry,
they paid him way too much, didn't they?
Probably.
Okay, so that's what happened. I mean, I had the time this morning. It was at 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Andy, I was just like, I'll burn the DVDs, because there are different ways you can install and use this consumer preview version. And I thought I want to start from the beginning, just like if anybody had gotten it out of the box, off the shelf at the store.
Right.
So I burned the DVDs. This was a 32-bit version of Windows Vista that I had on this machine. So I had to use the 32-bit version of Windows 8 Consumer Preview. Burned the DVD, booted from the DVD. It said, okay, we'll do the up. Now, it offered me some options. One was bring over my settings and my files. Or
that's good.
Bring over my files, or start over with Windows. So I chose the top one. What I did find when I got here, what you're looking at now is not all of the programs that I had installed. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. So this is what I wound up with on the initial install. And when I go to this here on local disk C, it created a, where is it? Windows Old. In program files, you can see all the programs I had installed previously. I had just, AclePad, it's a notepad thing, daily to-do list, program,
right.
Easy Photo Sorter, Evernote, that kind of stuff. Well, those are not available for some, at least easily available, let's say, in Windows 8 after the installation completed.
All right.
And I don't know why. You would think, here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that's a mistake in the preview, and people, when they finally release this operating system to the public, that it will upgrade, if you will, and bring over your programs. But I can't. I'm reporting my experience.
All right. So like, do you mean like your files itself, your photos, your documents? You can't access them, or you have been able to?
Well, the data seems okay, and I didn't really have any data on this one at all.
All right.
The programs concern me because, for example, let's do Notepad Plus.
All right.
Plus, I like this program. I installed it. It was installed in Windows Vista, but here, let's see what happens because on the Start button here in Windows 8, see, it's not there at all. Not there at all. The only reason you see Skype is because I installed Skype. Now, Skype wasn't installed in Windows Vista.
Right.
But since I didn't see it, I thought, well, I got to install it in Windows 8. So
now,
that's why you see that there.
If you were to click on that, what happens?
Oh, this is the Skype we're using now.
Right, right.
Yeah. But here, like Notepad++, let's just launch it.
Okay.
And see if I get an error message or anything. Nope, okay, so it launches. But see, you have to know where this stuff is.
Oh, I see. It doesn't create an icon group.
Yeah, or shortcut or anything. So at this time in this timeline and Windows 8 Consumer Preview, if you install it, you better know where your stuff is if you expect to use it. But if you're going to use Consumer Preview, don't expect for everything to work. Please don't install this and expect everything to work.
Right. Yeah,
that's what a beta and a preview is all about.
Now, what about programs? Say, like if you have a program like Adobe, where you can only have it on one machine. Are you going to have to uninstall it and then maybe reinstall it? Do you think for licensing?
Maybe not. Maybe not. But I'll tell you, when I did install Windows 8 Consumer Preview on top of the Windows Vista I had running, as you and I kind of experienced a little bit, it blew out my webcam driver. I had to install that again.
Right.
It blew out the drivers for my memory card slot, and I had to install that again.
Right.
And that was pretty much it. Everything else, I'm looking around the computer, everything else is pretty functional.
Right. Now, tell us about getting I want to say the taskbar and everything else to work. I mean, how difficult was that? Because watching the Perillo video, it looked like his dad was having the hardest time trying to figure out where to go with that.
Okay.
Do you have a start button? Could you give us kind of an idea on that?
Right. I'm going to take you on a tour. No, there is no start button, but it's a little convoluted, but you get it. Okay, so as you do the install, just as you're getting through with the install, I just want to warn you about something else. You're going to get to an option that's going to say, do you want to log in with the profile you had, or do you want to create a new a live profile or an internet profile? It's a Microsoft account. That's what they call it.
Oh,
they
wow.
now call it a Microsoft account.
All right.
Now, here's my suggestion. Initially, after you install it, go ahead and use your login that you remember. Use that first. The reason I say that is because the Microsoft account is going to make you an active on the internet immediately. Think of it as Microsoft is taking on Google Chrome operating system with Windows 8.
All right.
That's the idea behind this. So after you get past that, as I remember, you're going to see this, and I'm just going to show it to you real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll see this. That's the first thing you see. You have Store, Xbox Live Games, Photos, Calendar, People, Messaging, Internet Explorer, Maps, Video, Mail. I'm doing this for the people who are listening on WLMN. Pinball, FX2, Solitaire, Xbox Companion, Camera, Weather, Desktop. Now the interface, think tablet. Stop thinking Windows as you have known. That's still there. But the initial screen that you're going to see is now your mind has to start thinking tablet. Because watch what happens as I move the cursor to my right. Things scroll.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Okay.
So they probably want that experience where people are going to load. Looks like I almost want to say app driven.
Mm-hmm.
So people are going to want to load types of apps, and then you'll just slide I'm thinking iPad. Or you just slide your hand across, and then you pick whichever app you're looking for.
Yeah, even if you have like an Android phone, you know how when you swipe it and it changes screens on you. I think the iPhone does the same thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is about. Except this slides.
Okay, and then you'll be able to put them in groups. Is there you want to have a games screen? You'd have a games screen. If you want to have a application screen or a photo screen, you would have that there as well.
Haven't been able to try that yet, but let's give it a shot.
Okay.
One thing I do want to notice, want everybody to notice if they're looking at my video, is that things are a little glitchy. I mean, things aren't moving smoothly. Who knows why? But there's a little bar. There's a scroll bar at the bottom of the screen, so I can do that, just so you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I hate scroll bars.
You hate scroll bars?
I'm so negative this morning, but no, I'm not a fan of scroll bars.
Well, let me tell you this. I was so ready. I was all ready to hate this Metro interface on a computer.
Yeah.
I was prejudiced. Imagine me being prejudiced. I was You'd have to see those of you who haven't seen my picture. But you know what? I do kind of like this. And I think that this is going to benefit some people. I think this is going to be very welcoming for some people. I really do. So I can't hate. I want to hate, but I can't hate. I want to be a hater, but I'm not going to hate.
Yeah, and for those that maybe are not too familiar with Slick, you're not really one to jump on the bandwagon all the time.
Yeah. But this is just a different way of doing it, and I'm sold. I'm sold as this being a different way of doing it.
Now, I do see an app right here. I want to take a quick look at SkyDrive. Now, are they going to be pushing SkyDrive and then remote desktop?
Yeah. Now, what I read, but what I haven't yet to experience, I'm still working on it, is that if you use a Microsoft account, we got to learn new terms.
Yeah.
If you log on with a Microsoft account, you can then use SkyDrive to drag and drop and store and share files between computers as well as your SkyDrive account, just like you do. Think Dropbox, and again, I say think Google Chrome operating system, as well as, let me throw this in there, Jolly OS, Jolios. Those of you who are familiar with using different distros or flavors, if you will, of Linux. And they're trying to make sure all the work gets done in the cloud, that kind of thing.
Right.
This is very similar with the SkyDrive.
Nice.
Let's see. So you can hear on the side, we've got music, SkyDrive, remote desktop, which maybe we'll play with later. I'm afraid to use it now because and there's those extra things. They're like, here's a finance window. It's an app. It really is. Reader, I'll get to that in a moment. And then there's Windows Explorer. I do want to say this. For those of you who are feeling at the beginning going, ooh, I don't know if I don't like this. Hold off. Let me say this. There are two things in this Metro interface that will make you feel comfortable and at home. As I scroll back to the far left, one is, as I can drag it,
desktop. See that big? There's a big triangle right there. It says desktop with the fish. You click on it, and I know you can't see it now because I clicked back to a Windows Explorer open window, but you're back to a desktop. So you're in familiar territory.
Right.
You're at least back to something that you can work with.
Now, let me ask you, on when you set the account up or you set the Windows up, I'm pretty much the same way. I tell it, show me everything. Don't hide files. Let me know what's there. And that way, I see the whole bit. Now, I see you have some hidden files that are showing up on the desktop. Did it do that by default?
It pulled it over by default. I did not have to do that because, like you said, I work in Windows generally with all files shown because I feel I know what not to click on, what to mess with, all that kind of stuff. So I consider myself one of those super uber, users.
Right.
And when I blow it up, it's my fault anyway.
Now, what is Program Guide? Is that something that's part of Windows 8?
Where's that at? Do you see? That?
Yeah.
No, Program Guide. This has to do with. I installed WinTV.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought maybe something that Windows was doing to kind of show some of the different things that they're capable of.
No, believe it or not, this is a shortcut that Windows 8 did not clean up. It cleaned up and off, if you will, everything else I had on my desktop, but it left that shortcut, which is weird.
Any idea on numbers? I mean, did you look at any of the data as far as numbers of the people that have migrated to it?
I think I was reading a story, which I have on a screen on another computer. I'm trying to find it right now. I think they're recorded at last count like 200,000 downloads.
Wow.
Which can be impressive, but it's not really all that impressive by some standards. Some people are go poo-pooing it, going, it's not a whole lot of people.
Now, down at the bottom, I noticed, in your taskbar, you still have a taskbar. I had the feeling that they were getting rid of the taskbar. They were getting rid of a start button. I mean, that they were making it more, here's your desktop, work with it.
Yeah, I was afraid of that, too. I was afraid it was going to be like a big trick to get back to a desktop or a start button and all that kind of stuff. Now, there's supposed to be a way to return the start button. I'm going to say everybody pass on this. Now, I'll show you why. There's some other tricks around this, which are not that difficult. So don't feel you need a start button. Okay. Let me go back to the Metro interface real quick.
All right.
I just want to show everybody over here.
What do you call it? It's called the Metro interface?
That's the style is the Metro. You've heard of Deja Vu. This is Metro.
All right.
Deja Vu is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for what do they call it? That style. The toasters, the tables, the chairs.
Deco.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is Metro, not Deco.
Okay.
So the other thing I wanted to show people to make them more comfortable is right here, Windows Explorer. It's right there. Click on it. Bam. There you go.
So they don't hide it.
Yeah. No. So let's go back to Metro. Okay. Store, I haven't played with that. That's going to be for like apps, just like we use the Android App Store and the iTunes, the iTunes App Store. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's photos, nothing to show there. Calendar, which is supposed to tie into the web. I click on it and it's no big deal. I mean, look, it's going to launch and it's going to go out to the live.com. And then if I'm logged into live.com at this moment, it'll sync.
So is that kind of working with the idea of the iCloud? I don't want to be one of those guys that's always comparing Microsoft to Apple and Apple to Microsoft going back and forth. But obviously, if you're a successful company, you're going to look and see what makes your competition work. What is it that your competition likes? What is it that your users like? It sounds to me like that's the idea of the iCloud. Obviously, now Microsoft is kind of taking that and trying to make that work for its Windows users.
Yeah, I think so. And have you had we got to get an Apple. We got to get an Apple computer in so we can play with iCloud. I know you can use iCloud with your iPhone.
Yeah, and I can use iCloud on the PC. So
okay.
Oh yeah. That's what's really great about it. It's basically web driven, so I can log on to the web and go online and do all of that, and it integrates and syncs with my iPhone. So for those that wanted to get an iPhone and they've been thinking, well, do I really want to do this? That's what's really nice about iCloud. Make sure you get that. You have that, know that you have that capability. I can take a picture on my iPhone and then uploads automatically to the cloud, to iCloud.
Okay. And some things I found that don't work. I hit the escape key and nothing happens. The escape key has not worked for me that I can tell at all in Windows 8. But if you have on your keyboard, if you have a Windows key, takes you right back to Metro.
Now, Jeff Bishop just chimed in on Skype, and he wanted to probably make a comment. Jeff, you're feel free to give us a call. Our telephone number here for anybody who wants to call during our live cast is 520-407-5527. Again, that number is 520-407-5527 to get in on the cast or maybe ask you some questions and see where it's going with that. Now, I notice down in the bottom right, I see the Xbox logo. Well, what are they going to be doing with that?
Not exactly sure. You want to get that? Because I had to get a pen so I could write down the number.
Okay, well, I think we have Jeff on the line. Jeff.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jeff. Great to talk to you.
Yeah, long time no hear. Actually, Slick, there's been well over 1 million downloads of the Windows 8 preview, and that was within a 24-hour period, according to Microsoft.
Really?
Yeah. So no, it's going gangbusters, and I really think that Microsoft's going to hit it out of the park here, comparing iCloud, and I'm a big Apple fan simply due to the great accessibility that they have. But I really think Microsoft with their Office suite is really going to hit it out of the park, comparing iCloud with their cloud answer. I think Microsoft's going to win that battle pretty handily.
Now, as far as accessibility with the Windows 8, it looks like it's not going to be accessible. Is it more accessible than previous versions of Windows?
Well, so there's Narrator, which was built into Windows 7 and Vista and XP, has been greatly improved, and Microsoft is now officially calling it a screen reader, which they've never done that before for political reasons. They didn't want to really try to compete with the assistive technology vendors, but now they are calling it a screen reader, and it is hugely improved. It will suffice for the majority of I want to be careful here. It will suffice for getting your system up and going and doing some basic tasks. And I think that the majority of Metro apps, if they're developed properly, will probably be accessible too. I think there will still be a need for the assistive technology industry, because there's so many legacy apps out there, and there are so many people who will be writing Metro apps that won't be following standards. So there will still be a need for it, but the need will be less. And really, they had to do this because Apple is beating them up, significantly in the market right now. I mean, there are the number of blind people moving to the Mac is because of it is huge, and that's being noticed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it would be, considering it's a relatively small market, but it actually is being noticed in government, circles and things like that. So it's Microsoft's a bit worried about it because it will impact government contracts.
Oh, absolutely, definitely. Yeah, if you don't have that built in, you better you're going to have a hard time selling the government on it.
Yeah, the one huge problem that they still have left to deal with is providing an accessible installation. You can do it if you're upgrading Vista or Windows 7. In other words, doing an in-place upgrade.
Right.
But you could do that before, so that's nothing really new.
Yeah.
But now, it's exciting times, though. It's great.
Well, I was kind of concerned because we've seen this happen where Microsoft has come in and they said, all right, we're going to put out something else. And people are saying, wait a minute, I'm just getting used to this. We saw this with XP, and then Vista came along and kind of screwed everybody up. So we have a stable Windows 7, at least I feel it's stable in 64-bit mode. And now we have this. Is this going to be something that people you think will really say, oh, wait a minute, it is totally different, and it is something I need to have?
Well, I think that there's two sides of this. I think the home users will probably merge toward it, and I think you'll see businesses turn off Metro. I think you'll see businesses keep to the standard Windows desktop theme, because it's going to be a significant training effort for, training all the secretaries, training all the weird, people who work on floors and have no idea, my God, what did you do to me? And that's nothing personal to these guys, but, they're not computer people. Yeah. And so I think there's going to be some things where they're going to turn all of that off. And even Paul Thurrott, has said that that the enterprise probably will not be focusing too much on Metro, at least initially. But the other real interesting thing is the iPad 3, how this is playing into the Windows 8 announcements, and how there was a really interesting blog post from Paul Surratt on Friday all about the iPad 3 and how he feels that that is going to hurt Microsoft in reference to Windows 8 tablets. It's a really interesting article. It brings up some really great points, and his basic overall consensus is that people are going to buy the iPad 3 because of the great screen that it has, but there will be more consumer choice for less expensive, tablets with Windows 8, embedded on them, and you can have docking stations and keyboards and mice and all that,
right.
stuff that people are used to. But
well,
I think the day and age of the keyboard and mouse I think in 20 years we're not going to see these things.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. And the fact is, listen, when somebody goes Apple, they go Mac, and they have the iPhone, they have the iPad, they have the iMac. They tend to just suddenly, that's their world, that's their microcosm. And I found that most people, once they do that, they stick with it. With the Windows platform, that's what they need to do. They need to have it so that people are using it on a tablet, they're using it on a phone, they're using it on a desktop, they're using it in an airport, they're using it as that's where Microsoft, which still has the market share, will continue to win. If they lose that...
Well, they will, and that's what they're doing, and that's what they are doing. They're going to be doing that with Windows Phone. They're doing with tablets. They now have a unified ecosystem that they're now going to roll out to everywhere. So they have touch on the desktop, they have touch on the phone, they have touch on tablet. Even tablets are accessible. There was a CSUN conference just a few weeks ago in San Diego, and Microsoft was showing for the first time an accessible talking, Windows 8 tablet.
Right.
And that was pretty damn cool, man.
Did it have Siri's voice?
They had to do it. It didn't have Siri, but actually the voices, and Slick, you can play with these if you want, but the voices that are shipping in Windows 8 as far as speech synthesis are fantastic. I don't know if you've played with those yet at all, Slick, but they're really, really neat. They sound great.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
You got to try that out.
So,
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Awesome.
I think Windows 8 is going to be a winner. I think it's going to change the paradigm. I think the ultimate machine is a MacBook Air with Boot Camp on it. In fact, my son who goes to the U of A has a MacBook Pro, and he spends most of his time in Windows. But when he needs to do stuff at the university on the Mac, then he just flips over to it. I think that's the ideal. Ideal machine. You got both platforms at your disposal.
See, somebody asked me the other day, said when that very question, talking about that, when is Apple going to make its OS available so that you can run an Apple OS on a PC? And I said, why would they want to do that? Number one, when
pigs fly.
Yeah, exactly, because they're going to cut themselves out of the hardware sales, which is a big winner for them. That's why they sell their.
Well, they already are though. If you watch the iPad 3 announcement, they basically said that the PC era, which of course the Mac even personal computer, not necessarily your Windows PC, is over. I think you're going to see that eventually. I think Apple will kill off the Mac. There's no reason for them to
really.
Have
you think?
A Mac.
Yeah, there is. It's a lot of hardware.
I think in fact, they don't care. I mean, all they care about is selling. The Mac does not make up the majority of their business. The majority of their business is iTunes, iPad, iOS. Why do you think they're merging, the Mac platform to make it look like iOS? I think eventually you're going to see that the Mac is going to play a very less significant role in Apple, and eventually I think you're going to see the MacBook Air will probably live, but the MacBook Pro line and all that, I think eventually, and I could be completely wrong, but I think eventually they're going to be dead. I think they're going to stop producing them because they're not selling them enough.
Isn't that the goal, though, Jeff, with a lot of these companies? Get everything in your phone. Really, get everything mobile, so that then you can use it anywhere.
I think the goal is a unified operating system platform, and make it work wherever you are. So eventually it will be on your TV screen. it will be. I mean, I think that the next Xbox will be a Windows 8 console. I mean, the Xbox as we know it today will not be the Xbox. It will be a Windows 8, platform, so that it's consistent. You go to your PC, you go to your phone, you go to your tablet, you go to your Xbox. It's going to be all the same thing, and I think all the companies are doing it. Google's going to have to do it too eventually. I think it's going to be tougher for Google though.
I like it. Somebody from the future.
I think it's going to be much harder for Google to do it. Somebody
from the future, Jeff, is going to come down. They're going to say, "Well, I want to get myself the Xbox 360." Oh, get the Xbox 8. No, that's an old model. Maybe I'll hold out for the 450.
Do you think hard drives will go away like in 5 or 10 years?
Oh yeah, no, the traditional hard drive.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, the traditional hard drive with the mechanism, the we will see SSD, we'll see nano chips. That's going to be the future of storage.
Yeah,
that and the cloud.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think Congress will pass laws and make sure that it's safe and secure. And then I think people will migrate to it.
I like Slick finally says, "Yeah, right." Like that's going to happen.
Well, you can only hope.
Yeah, exactly. Well, awesome, Jeff. It's great to talk to you again.
Take care, guys.
You're gonna have to give us a call a little more often. It's always good stuff from you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right.
Take care, Slick.
All right, buddy.
There's Jeff, otherwise known. You have a nickname for him. We call him El Jefe.
El Jefe.
Yeah. So he is saying it's like been 1 million downloads on that.
I defer to him because I'll be honest with you, I don't remember where I saw that figure at. I stumbled across the figure that said
Apple.
Oh yeah. So
maybe that was it.
If Jeff says it's 1 million, I believe him. Him.
There you go. All right, tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue talking about Windows 8, but we are going to have a brief chat with Tom Hogarty, who is with Adobe, talking about the new Lightroom version 4. So if you're a photographer, if you're somebody that wants to get into it, he'll tell you what it's all about. We'll do that coming up next year at Tech Talk Radio. Well, welcome back to Tech Talk Radio. And as we told you earlier, working with photos has been made so easy. I mean, it used to be if you wanted to be a professional photographer, you had to get in the dark room and you had to learn how to do the reel and all this other fun stuff. And then to add features to your photos, you really had to take it to the next level. Well, one of the programs that makes it extremely easy for the digital photographer or the photographer that's scanning their images into the computer is a new product from Adobe. It's actually a new version of their product called Lightroom, and it's now in Lightroom version 4. And on the line with us, returning to Tech Talk Radio, almost can call him a friend of the show, is Tom Hogarty, who is the product manager for the product. Tom, great to talk to you.
Andy, thanks for having me.
Tom, tell us, for our listeners maybe don't know what Adobe Lightroom is all about. I mean, did I kind of capture it in a nutshell? It's for the digital photographer and gives them the tools to make their photos look even better?
Absolutely. It essentially represents your digital photography hub on your computer. So anything after you capture an image on your camera, even your phone, you bring it into Lightroom, and that's where the magic happens. That's where you can kind of pick your favorites. You can edit them with just all the photographic controls you'd want, and then just quick drag and drop sharing or printing, you name it.
So it kind of gives you the ability to just see it all on almost a canvas. You see picture A to picture Z all right there, giving you the ability to easily pick what is the best shot.
Definitely. Going through the process of picking your favorites, then kind of culling down the favorites and saying, well, I want to make some special adjustments to these, making that maybe the black and white adjustment, and then copying and pasting it to 10 other images just within a couple seconds. Just trying to make it as easy as possible for photographers to actually enjoy photography instead of feel like they're learning a computer science degree.
Now, I am a user of Adobe Bridge. I'm a Photoshop CS5 user, 5.5. For somebody that is used to Bridge, I mean, how is this really kind of different from that product?
Well, it's interesting. Bridge was introduced quite a few years before Lightroom, and it was really strongly adopted by the photo community because of its ability to select images and quickly get into Photoshop to make adjustments. So Lightroom inherited a lot of the best qualities of Bridge in terms of that workflow. However, Bridge is kind of a Swiss Army knife. It's a file browser that will just basically show you anything on your disk or anything that's attached to your computer quickly, and then take you to different applications like Photoshop or InDesign or Illustrator or Dreamweaver. So it's really a Swiss Army knife of different creative file formats. So Lightroom is catalog-based. So even if an image is not directly attached to your computer at the time, maybe the hard drive isn't attached, Lightroom's catalog has knowledge of the images you've worked with in the past, and you can still review and look at your entire image library. So that's one of the big distinctions. And also, since we're cataloging the information about all the images you work with, we can basically do instant searches across 40, 50, 100,000 images, so you can find exactly what you're looking for.
Oh, wow. Now, who would use this? I mean, really, would an amateur photographer go out and maybe purchase Lightroom, or is this something resigned to just the professional?
Well, it's designed to be professional grade,
right,
but easy enough that anyone who's interested in photography can use it. And so we've certainly seen a ton of adoption in the professional market of Lightroom, but even more so, we're seeing a lot more growth in usage of Lightroom by advanced amateurs or those just passionate enough about photography to kind of step up from a Picasso or an iPhoto.
Now, do I have to have Photoshop to be able to utilize this program?
No, Photoshop is really the icing on the cake if you wanted to add that to your imaging tool set.
Yeah.
But Lightroom as a standalone really will get done 90-95% of everything you would ever need to do. We only find the high-end professionals and the advanced amateurs who are looking to do more advanced compositing or really advanced retouching would look to add to Photoshop.
Like using the content-aware features and everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, with that in mind, though, as new versions are introduced, and we're now in version 4, what are some of the biggest things that people who are maybe going to finally make the move from Lightroom 2, or maybe they have Lightroom 3 and they want to update, what are some of these features that are going to really give them the, yes, I need to upgrade to this newest version?
Well, there's a bunch of really what I consider killer features or motivators to move to Lightroom 4.
Nice.
We've just seen the rise in popularity in photo book creation, so having that directly integrated into your image management and editing solution, and just basically publish within a couple clicks. The ability to manage your images by location. We actually load Google Maps directly into the application, and you can locate your images on a map or assign a location to your images.
Oh, that's cool.
If you're starting to dabble in video, basically most of our capture devices, DSLRs are, you can switch between still and video with just a flip of a switch.
Right.
Even your phone, smartphones can switch back and forth. So really robust video managing capabilities, and also the ability to take those image adjustment tools you're used to and apply those settings to your video clips.
Oh, wow. So if I want to maybe go black and white very easily, I can do that within Lightroom itself.
Absolutely. A subset of all the developed tools are available for video files. And speaking of the develop module, we kind of took a crack at reinventing the most fundamental image adjustment options in terms of resolving highlight detail and shadow detail and getting a nice balanced exposure. And I got to say, it's been really popular. It's now so easy to get that entire dynamic range out of an image quickly and easily. It's winning quite a few folks over.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, what are some of the different things I can do with Lightroom 4? I mean, I know that I can very easily create HTML galleries that I can, upload and give people the ability to view some pictures or even select some pictures for final.
So all of that still remains, and I think a lot of photographers, they appreciate the ability to review and select their favorites and make adjustments, and then the options really just explode in terms of what you want to do if you want to share your image. We've had drag and drop sharing to Facebook directly within the application if you wanted to post some images there, and we've extended that, so now if you wanted to drag and drop video content, maybe up to Facebook or Flickr, you can do that as well. This is a fun feature that we should have done a long time ago, I'm embarrassed to say.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to just quickly email a photo, we've added direct email integration into Lightroom 4 to quickly pop images out to a friend or family or client. So it's we just keep building on those options of sharing and publishing and making it easier to get from the camera to whatever output you want.
Yeah. Well, now, Tom, I use, some third-party tools. Like I'll use on One software products, Kabuto, also even the Alien Skin software. Will those work within Lightroom so that way I really don't if I'm not doing any major retouching, I wouldn't even have to open up Photoshop?
Well, so absolutely, you can work directly from Lightroom to many of the popular plugins that are out there. I know Nick Silver FX Pro is a popular one. On One has a number of popular plugins, and we make it very easy for you to just right-click on an image and say edit in those kinds of third-party solutions. Now, we'll add an important caveat. We're a bit embarrassed. We missed a bug in this area. So Lightroom 4.0, the very first release, sometimes will fail at this working with external plugins. That is very embarrassing, and we'll get that fixed very quickly in an upcoming dot release.
Well, that does happen. And one of the things I've always noticed about the Lightroom product line is that, or I should say the life of the product, I've always seen really good updates come out. So it seems like you really listen to the photographic community and the people that are using your product. And if you come across something like this, that's going to happen, you fix it pretty quick.
That's great to hear that that's coming across. Our goal is to be as transparent as possible with our customers. They're paying for a premium solution and a professional grade solution, so we need to treat them with care and respect. So we do anywhere from 4 to 8 updates a year, trying to make sure we're making life as good as possible for our customers.
Now, for somebody who's getting the product for the first time, maybe they've never looked at Lightroom. They install it and they look at it. Is there a real difficult learning curve? I mean, is it something they can pretty much adapt very quickly?
Well, that's a great question, because we actually were looking at that problem in Lightroom 4 and saying, well, what could we do to help people get started who are new to the application? And we have these new per module hints. They're kind of workflow guides that explain the interface to you and kind of what you would do in each part of the interface and how to get started. They're very short. They're very unobtrusive. They're not like the Microsoft Word clippy.
Thank God.
So we think we've done a little bit there, and I think we have a lot more room to grow. We've always prided ourselves on kind of a low learning curve relative to other more complex solutions like Photoshop, but we want to keep lowering the bar even further.
Well, I had posted this on my Facebook page that, we were going to be talking to you, and I asked, I said, what are some of the things that people are thinking about when I mentioned Lightroom? And one of the first questions that came up was a listener of ours, a reader of ours, said that they want to know, is there a free trial? Because that's really something that Adobe has done with, it seems like, the entire product line, and gives users a really good opportunity to get the feel of the program.
Absolutely. You can definitely get a free trial at adobe.com/Lightroom. And we understand that some people take a look at the product and they give it a try, or maybe they don't get it a full feel in the first 30 days. So with every dot release we do, we actually kind of reset the timer on that trial. So if you feel like you tried it once and that was my one chance, go back and download another copy and give it a go again.
Very cool. Now, where can I get more information about the product, and really what is the cost for this? It's not very expensive, is it?
Well, it just got a lot less expensive.
Yeah.
We, for the first time since we launched Lightroom back in 2007, we've changed the price, and so the cost of entry is no longer $299; it's $149. So
nice.
Cut the price in half. And for those existing customers, if you own Lightroom 1, 2, or 3, and you want to upgrade to Lightroom 4, it's the same price at $79. And for more information on what's new in the product, again, it's adobe.com/Lightroom, or the product team maintains a blog where we post details and updates on what's going on, and that's blogs.adobe.com/Lightroom. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention we have a great group on Facebook, facebook.com/Lightroom, and we do a number of tweets through twitter.com/Lightroom.
Awesome. And now this is available for Windows 7 64-bit as well as the Mac OS, correct?
Oh, it's definitely cross-platform. And actually, when you buy a license, you're buying a license for both the Mac and Windows platform. If you maybe have a desktop Mac and a a laptop on the PC side or vice versa. So Mac OS 10.6.8 and 10.7, it's Snow Leopard and Lion.
Right.
And then on the Windows side, it's Windows Vista and Windows 7.
Right. Now, for those people, and I know you hate this question, for those people who are taking the plunge and trying the beta for Windows 8, will there be support for Windows 8 down the line, or is that something we see right away?
Well, we don't like to speculate on those future things, but we've had an amazing track record of staying current with all the new OSs. So, if not by the time Windows 8 hits, it'll be shortly thereafter. We will address it, and that's one of the things we did this cycle. We actually removed support for Windows XP because we were looking to the future of all these upcoming operating systems.
Absolutely, it makes the program a little more streamlined, I'm sure, and easier to operate.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's great. And that, asking that kind of question makes me seem relevant. Tom, it's so great talking to you again, and we look forward to talking to you, obviously, as the product continues to develop. Great things always from Adobe, and again, that's adobe.com for more information. Tom, great talking to you.
Good talking to you. Thanks for having me.
And we're back on Tech Talk Radio after that segment with listening to Tom Hogarty talk about Lightroom 4. Kind of cool. I've not had really a chance to put it through its paces yet to see everything it can do, but like I said, I'm a bridge user, so going to Lightroom is a different step. But a lot of people that I've talked to that do digital photography have said it's pretty cool. All right, so Slick is here with us also, that is running Windows 8. Slick, I did get an email wanting to know about the installation process. Was it difficult? Was it easy? For somebody who maybe is not tech savvy, are they going to be able to get the ISO and then do this?
Yes. If you're not very tech savvy and you don't want to go through a bunch of paces to do some of the stuff I kind of like to play with sometimes, just download the ISO, and it should be relatively easy if you're using Windows 7. You download the ISO, 32-bit or 64-bit. You highlight it and maybe right-click on it and choose Burn to a Disk. And you make sure you have a disk in your optical drive. That's the key. That's the key right there. And done. Okay, that's the easiest, straightforward way to do it. Now, as far as the installation procedure, everything was pretty straightforward except for I was comparing my experience to some other reported experiences, and I did see some screenshots from one or maybe two reports. I'm looking at arstechnica.com. Where I guess I didn't see the Windows 8 language to install screen. Maybe I did, but I did get the product key screen, but I don't remember seeing, which some of you may be used to. There's a screen that pops up depending on how the installation you're working with. Says, do you want to upgrade or do you want a custom install? I don't remember getting that.
Oh, maybe that's something they put in another build. Are they putting out builds, and can you get the build updates? Because you're on what, 8352 now? Is that what the number was? Yeah.
Yeah. Which we'll show that again. I'm assuming that these updates, the Windows updates, if you will, are going to be silent because I don't see a real obvious place unless we go back into the older interface, the older Windows interface, where you can say, check for updates. There's nothing like real out front for this. Also, I didn't see the screen that says installing Windows, and it gives you the 5 options as it rolls down through the procedures.
Yeah, there are many different. You have to choose which Windows 8 version is right for you. What are your options? Do you know?
As far as like the Home Premium, Home Basic, all that kind of stuff we used to. There's going to be the one that I remember that jumps out at me. There might be 5. There's probably going to be Windows 8 and then Windows 8 Pro Professional, which is designed for business users. That will be the one that'll probably have the networking components in there, so you can go client server, as well as something I've been looking forward to that I bet is not in what I'm using right now, the Windows to Go. So let's say you had Windows Professional installed on a desktop computer at work.
Okay. You
use the Windows to Go feature. You will take a version, if you will, of Windows 8 and move it to a flash drive, let's say 8 gigabytes large. Ooh. You could take that flash drive to another computer, plug it in, and it's almost as if you're working on your own computer.
Now, you haven't figured that one out yet, or you haven't had a chance to really look at that?
I haven't had a chance to look at it. I don't believe it's in the consumer preview that I'm using.
That's one of the big selling points that you want Windows 8 to have, right?
I want Windows to go. I
Right.
really do. Beyond that, nothing else jumps out at me that I could really express an opinion about or dissatisfaction or this is coming in that different version or anything like that. I really don't know. They probably have, but I don't know if they laid out the different types of versions and what specifically some will have and some won't.
I'm liking it. I don't know. I at first I was gonna be pretty. I don't want to say anti, but I was kind of like, oh come on, please, why? And then
Yeah.
when I saw the fish,
Yeah, the fish.
it
the
you know
fish
what,
was-
it reminded me of an aqua clippy.
Yeah, I don't know who in the Microsoft building didn't pull Ballmer aside and go, let me tell you about the fish. Okay,
Yeah.
fish is it's not really good. Let's see what else we got here.
All right,
Let me
now
just roll
one
through
thing
some more
Gloria asked about,
Okay.
and if we go back to your screen, we're looking at the Windows 8 screen right now. On the top left, I see Store.
stuff. Yeah,
Now, if you click on that, what does it do?
it'll probably be apps, but let's find out. Remember, everybody, I just installed this, so I haven't had a chance to play with everything on here. So
All right.
Here we go.
Okay,
Oh, it's a handbag.
so you now got hell in a handbag. All right, now if you click on that, it then pulls out. All right, and it's giving you a screen that's showing you a store.
Mhm.
Okay,
Reminiscent of, well, for me, it's Android, like Android apps and stuff like that. Look at games.
Kindle, cookbook.
Social, entertainment, photos, music
Up
and
the row.
videos, and it never ends. Look at the scroll bar; it's still going. Books, and
So
reference,
it's anything that would be store driven. It's anything. Well, you know, and it's funny because if you look at my iPhone, that's how I arrange. I have my shopping page. I have my music page. All right, and these are all pre-built in, and these are working. So it's not like they're not working.
yeah. Now I disagree with the pre-built-in. I think these are available. It's a store, so it's not
Okay.
necessarily
All right.
installed already.
Right.
So let me go back to the main interface. What was I going to tell you about? Okay, so this is, as we go through some more, unless you want to see something specific, this is what Internet Explorer looks like. Now, this is Internet Explorer 10, everyone.
Okay.
Internet Explorer 10 in Windows 8 Consumer Preview.
All right. Let's take a look and see how that comes up.
There you are.
There's the E.
Exactly. There's no E. Here
Okay.
you have at the bottom your address window.
Okay.
And let's see if I go back. If I close that, oh, how do I get back? I don't have any pages pinned. Oh, come on. I'll get to know Windows 8. Okay, I get it back in. Now, what I've just been reading this morning is I found out that Google Chrome, as well as Mozilla Firefox, intend on having a look similar to this.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
There are news stories out there that say, oh, yeah, we're getting ready for the Metro interface.
Wow.
Now, with that, I just say this: I use Google Chrome and I like Google Chrome, but I have a little complaint. Maybe it's not such a little complaint. With this with the new design of the interface for Google Chrome and the Google services on their website and web pages, the scroll bar on the far right is a pain to get to anymore. It's hard to find sometimes. Sometimes I can't find it at all to
Right.
scroll up and down, or even on the left-hand side to go through, like in Gmail, to get to all mail, to get to sent mail, to get to contacts. I don't know if you've experienced this, Andy, but when I try to use my cursor, I have to hunt and find, to find the scroll bar so I can find out where the rest of the options are
Yeah.
that I'm familiar with.
Yep.
I hate it. Let me just sign here. See, it's a little thicker in Internet Explorer,
Yeah.
but it's half that size in Chrome, and I hate it. So, all right, back to the desktop.
All right.
Well, this isn't even a desktop anymore. This is Metro.
Yeah.
I gotta stop saying that.
All right. What about messaging? What options does it give you?
Well, right out the box, you get messaging. It's Windows Live, and Windows Live.
Now it says
And-
I saw just something that said Saturday 17. What was that? Is that 17 messages you haven't answered?
No, this is the calendar. I clicked on that. See,
Okay.
calendar, Saturday 17.
Oh, today is the 17th. That's right.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what
It's
day
on
it
your
is.
it's on your iPhone.
I have
Andy.
no idea.
There's a new interface for what's, I guess, going to replace Windows Media Player. Guess what it looks like? Oh, wait, let me show it to you.
Oh, yeah. Let's see this. Okay.
It's loading.
All right.
Remember what Zune looked like? The Zune software interface, everybody?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Well, didn't they decide to discontinue the Zune?
Probably because it looks a lot like this. Or this looks a lot like that now.
And you had to install Silverlight. Am I correct to get this to all work?
It must have come naturally because I have intentionally not installed Silverlight ever since Microsoft publicly stated they weren't going to support Silverlight. Meaning, and they didn't say it was going away. They said they had other plans for it, and they never explained it. And I think we now know why. It's built in.
Okay.
Here I accept the Xbox. I guess with this music thing, I have to accept the Xbox Live terms of use of agreement.
So all of their music is going to be driven through what they're calling the Xbox platform.
I suppose. Let's see. I'm going to accept it and see what happens. And I'm back in. Oh, I've seen this before. It's weird.
So does this mean now that you're going to have an Xbox PC? Is that kind of like what we're looking at?
I guess.
Nora Jones.
Yeah. So let me get out. I'm not really fond of that, so I'll get out of that because I'm not really happy with that. Was there anything else here on the first? I don't know what to call this. The first wall. So I'm going to go past the first wall to the second wall. Let's see. Oh, Reader. Reader is interesting. Think of Windows Reader as Microsoft Word Reader, PowerPoint Reader, and you know what else this thing will render?
What?
PDF files.
Oh, natively.
I found out by accident because I had something in there that had a PDF file, and it looked like you could access it. And sure enough, bam, you can read them.
So it's not. So it's not the Windows dock that they have. This is an actual like a PDF, Adobe Acrobat PDF reader.
Yeah, this is like all one thing, which is good
that.
because I have refused to install Adobe Reader for a very long time because it's such a resource hog.
Right.
So I guess here we are.
Just a reader reads files then.
Yeah, basically, and it's done. That's its job. So we go back to the Metro interface. I scroll back over more to the right.
Now, how do you get to the Metro interface? Is there a start button? Are you clicking on something?
Yeah, that's why I'm headed there. Let me answer your question right now. I'll do first. Okay, so I'm here in the Metro interface, and there's no start button. What do we do, Slick? Well, watch this, everybody, because I'm going to go around. I have to go around the edges for you to get this. So if you go over here, and you go up, I'm going in the upper left-hand corner.
All right.
You see that you get an indication. It's almost like a taskbar. It's almost like Control-Alt-Delete you do to get the task list, the task manager, that kind of thing.
Okay.
This is a little tricky, though, for me because you get up in the corner, it pulls out the one window.
Let our viewers actually see what that is.
Okay.
Hold on. There we go. All right. Now we're looking at it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So let me go back. I'll go back. I'll hit to the side. I'm going to the far left with my cursor. Now I'll go in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. See this little window comes out of something that we have. So apparently that is running in the background.
Okay.
Apparently that's running in the background. But as I scroll down, now I can get to the other stuff as well. It's a little tricky. You got to be careful because sometimes this stuff won't pop out.
All right.
So I'm going to close the music.
So any window that you have open is now, instead of it coming up from the bottom, and I'm sure you could probably reposition this. So if you want it to come up from the bottom, you could.
I don't know if you can. I haven't tried yet. This reminds me of Ubuntu because the new interface on Ubuntu looks like this, where stuff is open on the left-hand side. So I'm going to right-click on that square for the music, and I'm going to close, and it'll close. And then that's messaging. I'm going to right-click on it and close, and that'll close. Same with, what is this? I don't remember what that is. But I'm going to close it.
The consumer preview video.
Okay.
Kind of, you go to the web, and it will pull that out.
Okay, and I'm sure that was the apps, and that was the calendar, and that right there, that's Explorer. So I'm just going to close that, and it shouldn't be any issue. Oh, and there's the reader, and then I've got nothing. See on the left. Right. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll across the top with the cursor. See nothing until I get to the far right upper right-hand corner. And
wait, hold on. Let me pull that up too, because I want our listeners to be able to see this. So you're going to the top right side of the screen now.
Yep.
Okay, let me do this here so that way our viewers be able to check it out. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Upper right-hand corner of the screen. Something comes out. See over to the right-hand side. As I move the cursor down, it becomes more defined so you can see what it is. And it's search, share, which I'm assuming is, I haven't played with it yet, but let's think Twitter, Facebook, maybe stuff like that.
Okay.
There's Start. When I click on Start, I don't remember what this does, but let's see. Oh, it takes us back to the Metro interface.
So that's the way one of the ways you get back to the Metro interface.
You know what? That's right. I keep forgetting
Yeah.
that when I'm in other things.
All right.
Because I have found my safe place, and I'll show you where it is.
Got it.
So here's devices. I click on that, and it doesn't show. It's saying I can't send any devices. I don't have any devices set up. So I go back to here, and I have settings. Now settings, I'm thinking, yeah. Now this is like the lower right-hand corner of your screen that you're used to in Windows 7, Windows Vista, where you can see if you're connected to the internet. You can control your sound. Apparently, there's a display option. Power I can shut down from here.
Right.
Notifications and in language. And there's more PC settings. I believe when I click on that, it'll take me to like control panel. Let's see. Well, not necessarily control panel, but control panel, like controls.
Got it.
So we can do a lot of stuff in here. Devices, change picture. Okay. So I want to get out of this. So I'm going to hit the Windows key. So I go back to the desktop. Okay. So down here at the lower right corner of the screen, I've got a magnifying glass with, 4 windows, little squares. Let's click on that. Oh, okay, so it minimizes.
Can you show us that again? Because I think
sure.
Some of our listeners maybe didn't get a chance to see that.
Okay, let me go back to the desktop. So these tiles, and once again, I just remind everybody, the reason I installed Windows 8 is to see if it would help me with my performance on a video. It's a hardware video problem I'm having with this notebook computer. All the icons, when I install any other version of Windows, it's in VGA mode. The icons are huge, and every window is, I can't work with it.
Right.
It's making this, Windows 8 is making this old bad hardware, which we know is bad hardware, usable.
Oh,
I gotta
really?
give it.
So you're not having that video problem?
No, I am not.
Nice. All right. So now, all right. So you showed that little so you click down there.
Yeah, lower right-hand corner of the screen with the magnifying glass and 4 squares. I click on it, and it makes the Metro interface tiles smaller.
Ah, okay.
I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just because maybe I can see more. So it's like large, small, that kind of thing.
So if you click on it again.
Well, is it available again? Let's see. It's not available again because everything's within the window. I mean, it's not off where I can scroll by.
It looked like you had a little greater then. Like you could probably have clicked that and it would have brought it up.
Not there. I'm clicking blank on a blank spot in the Oh, okay. I clicked on a blank spot on that Metro interface and it came back.
Got it.
To normal.
All right.
So, and if we were saying about where do the programs go when they're installed? Well, they go on this Metro interface, apparently. Because you can see Skype and you can see Google Canary Chrome that I've installed. I installed them and they showed up on the Metro interface.
Nice.
But these were already installed. Or at least Skype was, before I went to Windows 8.
Now, what's the first program you're going to try and install on this to see if it works with it?
Skype. Oh, it works. No. I'm being a jerk. Dan. I'm sorry. Well, now I'll show you the start button, the so-called
I meant
start
like
button.
the first CD program.
I don't know. Do you have a choice, a preference, a suggestion?
Try game. Do you have any games?
Not really,
You
but
don't
I
play
guess I
games.
could. I've got a Steam account. I guess I could put my Team Fortress 2 back on there.
There you go.
So here's the answer. Here's Microsoft's answer to the start button now. Lower left-hand corner of the screen. You just put the cursor down in there, and you get this.
All right, hang on. Lower left hand, and then you get
This little
All right.
pop-up.
All right, got it.
So that's their answer to the start button. Because if you notice, if I'm in something, let me just go up here and close a window. And let's just say, all apps. That's new. I didn't see that before.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Let's click on that. I knew this screen was available. I just haven't come across a way to pull it up, but I just did.
Ooh, I kind of like that.
All apps, calendar, camera, desktop, finance, blah, 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 administrative tools.
I don't like that it's a scroller, but it still looks reasonably cool.
Windows ease of access, Windows system.
Google Chrome, I see that.
There's the run that I'm so fond of, like command prompt.
Ah, nice.
There's even command prompt. So this is where they put the stuff that I couldn't find.
Right.
Okay.
Now, will they include this in the final release? I bet you they would.
This is in the final release. I've seen screenshots of this. I never knew how to get to it. So now let me see if I go back to the Metro desktop. So how do I get to apps? Even I got to figure that out. Let me close this thing. Oh, you know what I did? Hold on. This was weird. Let me go back to the desktop. So I need to close this little window open that I had. I'm trying to go. See how tricky this is? You got to be just right on it. And it won't.
You had done something down below that it said all apps.
Right. And I'm trying to do it without that window because that was the mistake. I came down here and I couldn't get to that. So I came down here and I was fooling around in the lower left-hand corner. And now I can't get apps to come up. Why not? If I click, 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 click. I don't know
not
what did
it. All right, now how about photos? Do you have anything you don't want us to see?
Not really. There's no photos on it.
Right, so
I just figured out how to get apps, though. If I right-click on a blank spot on that Metro app interface,
right,
I got apps.
There you go. That's it. So you right-click anywhere on the desktop.
Yeah, on the Metro interface. Definitely.
On the Metro interface. Okay. Yeah. Nice. And then that popped up the app screen down on the bottom.
And it won't go away unless I right-click on a blank spot again. Okay.
All right.
Let's see. What else did I have? I made some notes here. I was going to tell you everybody about this. So let's see. The Windows Reader. My resolution right now, that because I looked in it earlier before we started the program, it's 1024 by 768 True Color 32-bit. That's the best I can get out of this broken, damaged, old video display adapter that's on the motherboard that's gone bad.
Right.
How to shut down? Well, before I go to that, let me say this. One of the things that really bothers me is that it seemed like out of the box, after the first hour in here, I still haven't found simply help. I haven't found it. I don't know where it is. I don't know where they're hiding it. Help is not available.
Okay.
But maybe if I right click and go to all apps, now that I know to right click and go to all apps, maybe help is in here.
There you go.
Hopefully. Maybe it is, but I still don't see it. Oh, there it is. Help and support.
Look at that.
Okay.
And is there going to be system restore? I mean, are we going to have all those features?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure they didn't take all that stuff out. This pretty interface is what's confusing me. So take your time to get to know Metro. And when in doubt, just flip back to the old desktop. I mean, if you're in a hurry.
Well, I tell you what, we're actually out of time for this week's show. Pretty good overview. Why don't we plan on next weekend? We take maybe even a deeper look at Windows 8 and get kind of an idea of what the program is capable of after you had it in your hands for about a week.
Yeah, hey, if anybody's got any questions or suggestions, email me and Andy at TechTalk Radio, Slick at TechTalk Radio, with like, try this, install that kind of stuff. Because I can do that, because Andy and I are not going to be able to come up with all the things we probably should be trying. So give us some hints or suggestions or ask some questions or whatever. And it's Andy at TechTalk Radio and Andy at TechTalkRadio.com and Slick at TechTalkRadio.com.
All right, very cool. Anything else that you wanted to cover for this week?
Not really. This just jumped out, this early in the morning. Is after midnight. This is one of those things that comes out when the moon is full.
You did it. All right, so how long did the install take?
I'm going to say 15 minutes to half an hour, really.
Yeah, which is, I'll tell you what, one thing I liked about Windows 7 versus Windows XP was the install time to install it and get up to running again.
I've done a clean install on Windows 7. I've just kind of given up on clean installs. I just give up an hour. I'm just so used to just giving up an hour anymore.
Yeah, definitely. That's about what it takes.
Even for upgrades, same.
Well, a great overview of Windows 8 today, Slick. I love it. It's kind of neat to see. It makes me thinking maybe I do want to try this. Now I'm thinking I could try this on my laptop, which has kind of been wigging out lately.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, it brought this thing back to life.
Yeah.
And I the hardware on here, everything is good, but the video. So.
Oh, it looks pretty good. A lot better than you did have with that, right?
Oh, a lot better.
All right. Well, tell you what. Thank you very much, Slick. I'm sorry we couldn't see you today. Instead, we see your desktop. which is very nice of you to share with us. We'll be back next week with more Tech Talk Radio. You can visit us on the web at techtalkradio.com. Check out our podcast as well. We have that. We'll post this show up there. You can watch the video cast also. And you can also check out our broadcast at WLMN Radio in Grafton, West Virginia. And, of course, at Radio Exiles for our special Thursday broadcast where we kind of talk a little, share some of the interviews we've done with the show and all that other stuff. And this actually looks like a lot of fun, this Windows 8 thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Is it fun again? All right. Have a great week. I'm Andy Taylor.
And I'm Slick.